I'm Decathlon Gamer, and welcome back to FM24 Youth Factory. It's episode 65. We are coming off our first bright spot of the season. We got one win against the number one team in the league, and then shortly thereafter rolled off 4 straight victories against pretty good teams for the most part. Our next period is another opportunity to get some more results. We've got Lincoln, who is 15th overall. Bristol City is going to be a tough one on the road. Fulham, even though they are 16th, probably going to be a tough one on the road because form is much better than their league position, as they are one of the teams with the 12-point deduction. Blackburn at home, though, is quite winnable. So, you would think at least a couple of the upcoming matches is winnable. And when you throw in Millwall at last place, who we were just battling with at the start of the month for not being last place in the league with their 12-point deduction, it's a definite other opportunity. Let's go ahead and get 4 games out of the way, see what happens before we go in and probably take on Millwall at home in a must-win scenario. Are we at that stage? I suppose that depends on what happens in the next 4. Our good form did continue. Close contest with Lincoln. This was definitely a winnable match. 2 penalties, though, is what saw us through. The go-ahead, then a quick equalizer, and an early second half go-ahead. Ratings, not great, not awful, not our best day, but Phil Hewitt with a brace from the spot. His first goals actually in quite some time, by the way. But we actually carried on that good form against a good Bristol City side. We saw them, 8th place, and we were on the road. Phil Hewitt gets us on the scoreboard in the 4th minute, and not from the spot. But you can see that both McFadden and Phil Hewitt ended up picking up a knock in this one, and it's another penalty, this time from McCartney, assuming that Hewitt had been subbed off at that point due to his injury. But we do come away 2-1 victors. It does start to fall apart. Losing 2-0 against a good Fulham on the road is not fall apart territory. What is the 4 injuries that we picked up, 4 in one match. Also, in the injury in between the Bristol City match and Fulham that saw us lose Hassel. Luckily, both McCartney and Hewitt were, or McFadden, that is, and Hewitt. Well, McFadden missed at least one match, but Hewitt was able to come off the bench, recovering from his injury. But Hassel getting injured midweek in training, plus 4 injuries taken in that game, was a 5-injury week for us. The loss, whatever, right? We're supposed to be a bottom-of-the-league team, and we won every single match in December until just before New Year's. You'll take that, even if you're the league leaders. You'll take that. So that's a good month, but the 5 injuries is devastating and directly led to us losing a very winnable game against Blackburn 2-1. And it's a penalty. So we've really had 3 of the last 4 games decided by penalties. You can see our performance was, but I mean, look who we were playing with. Rossini, McFadden, Phil Hewitt, not playing on top. Wiley getting the start. Whitehouse, Buttle. I'm not even sure these guys have ever played for us before. Whitehouse might have had 1 appearance. Buttle, I think that was his debut. So the injury bug has definitely cost us potential points, or even, a 1-1 draw likely, and we might need some help for that Millwall one. Let's hope that these injuries are not severe. The severity is something I'm not quite sure of, as we are just starting the month of January and we're already getting offers for players, with the transfer window only being 24 hours open at this stage. So check it out, development and the injury side. On the development side, another month in, not seeing much here. A lot of these guys were about a 110, 111. We're seeing a couple, 2 or 3 points of development. We're seeing a little bit of development here where they had been, 115-ish. So some development's happening, but it's definitely not rapid at this stage. The last 5 games rating, a lot of 6.9s, 6.8s. Still better than the form we had a long time ago, but not the greatest of form through this stretch. So, Adekunle, he's one of those injured in that game. He's out for 2 to 4 weeks. Ben Hassel, injured in practice, 2 to 4 weeks. Steve Walker, 3 to 4 weeks. And Redknapp, imminent return. Not bad, considering we had 2 injuries and then a week later had 5 injuries, 7 injuries in that stretch, and being down to 3+ on that after a short period is still a little worrying, especially missing Adekunle, who's our key outfield player. This is going to be a tricky couple of weeks, and this match with Millwall could be a big one. Speaking of, how is the league looking now? It's Watford on top. It's Crystal Palace just behind them. Yo-yo clubs. Sunderland trying to get back to the Premier League. Derby County. Big response from them after their real life. I guess it's been quite a few years, right? Their real life downfall and financial shortcomings. Reading and Bournemouth in the playoff zone. Sheffield Wednesday just off on goal differential. Coventry and Sheffield United just a point off of the playoff zone, so it's very tight. And then there's Fulham, already up to 10th place, 33 points, and that's counting that 12-point deduction. So really they're on 45 and very much are the 5th place club, which I think is right where they had been before in terms of form on the season. Barnsley, Stoke, it's Bristol City, it's still really tight near the top. I mean, there's only 4 points from 6th to 13th. That slender drop off from there finds us in a much more comfortable spot than where we had been before. Now 18th. We have form. We are seeing the development. It could still fall apart. We're only 6 points clear of West Brom. Things could go haywire pretty quick, but Millwall's playing a hell of a lot better than they were. They're only a -7 and they've got 10 points now. That negative, they've been playing really well lately, so this Millwall match is not going to be easy at all. Like any reason to think that it's going to be easy is total ignorance. They might only have 22 points on the season, but remember, they were negative a month ago. So over this last little bit, they have picked up a fair few points, and that goal differential alone suggests that they are certainly better than we are at this stage. But QPR, 23 points, but only a -3 goal differential. They have 5 wins and 12 losses, and yet they only have a -3 goal differential. When they win big. When they lose close. We're kind of the opposite of that. We do not have the worst goal differential, but we are 3rd worst. We're only a goal better than Ipswich Town. It's still a struggle for us. We're only ahead of Ipswich on goal differential, ironically. So we know we've had our struggles this season, but we're starting to play our way into it. But just how are we looking in comparison to everybody else? We are dead last in possession at 40%, but I think that's already better than what the number was. I have gone much more defensive, which is where we've found the form. Headers won is 14th, and percentage is 10th. Even with 2 losses, recent form has us at 7th, but that's only really shown the last 5 matches. Our home form is mid-table. Our away form is upper mid-table. Offensively, we are tied dead last, 24 goals on the season, same as Charlton Athletic. It's definitely not been our strong suit this season. Our expected goals over performance is one of the reasons why we are struggling so much. We should have 30 or 31 goals this year, but we've only managed 24. Our finishing has been, quite bad. Charlton, us, and Stoke are the 3 that are really having an issue in this department. So, is it that our finishing has been that bad, or is it a combination of that and just really bad luck? In terms of the XG, we are 22nd. Non-penalty XG actually has us even lower at dead last, 25.89. That's definitely not helping us. And with a 6 for 6 on penalties, that's been a little bit of what's saving us here lately. Cross completion has always been one of our better stats. We've always been near the top of the league, but this year it's at just 12%. And we are last on completed crosses. Pass completion, I've always been number one, but this year we're down to 18th at 80%. But of course, we have changed play style. I think that is part of it, but the bigger factor, obviously, is just the level of competition. 23rd in chances created at 64. Dead last in shots, but only one behind Lincoln City. Also last in shots on target, but again one, this time behind Charlton. Lincoln City just 3 further ahead. Shooting percentage at 41% is 16th. Defensively, definitely looking better. We are mid-table, and that's really been since we went more defensive. We've stopped the bleeding. We were giving up so many goals in the early part of the season. So realistically, I think our form more recently is better than mid-table. It was bottom of the league at the start of the year. So with that recent form, you got to figure that we're somewhere near the top of the league. Watford is absolutely dominating, giving up half the goals, thereabouts, of any other team in the league. And XG against, going from the negative, right, from more goals that you should have conceded, at the top of the list, we're in the upper half of the league. So we've actually been unlucky here. So we've been unlucky on the offensive end, or poor, however you define that, by 6.5 goals, and the defensive end has been the same thing. It looks like about 5, right? It was 43, was it not? Tackles won, we are 9th. Blocks, we are 8th. Overall possession won, though, is 22nd. Here's where we struggle, but again, I think part of this is the recent changes to go more defensive and not press as much. Our opposition passes per defensive action, we are last in the league, only by 0.02. It's a very slender last place, but it's still last place. Final third passes against is one of those areas where you want to be near the top, but we are near the bottom at 89. Final third passes against, tied with a couple others, and very much near the bottom of the league. Here's what I really was wanting to check, and it was attendance. How is our attendance at this level? It's growing, it's changing. We have a new stadium. It has space, it has capacity, but we are slowly building reputation, right? We are catching up on the reputation side, especially with the promotion rate of late. Really only taking 2 years at League One and, not catching up drastically. Anyway, we are dead last. And part of the issue here is, just above us is Lincoln. It's twofold. It's the gap. The gap's huge. 6,200 a game for us, 13,500 for them. It's double. It's more than double what we're doing. It's also 13,000 for Millwall. QPR's at 16K. It grows pretty rapidly. Now, Millwall's not the case. They are not selling out, but Lincoln's selling out every match. They've had 12 home matches. They've had 12 sellouts. QPR's had a few sellouts with their 16K, but they're averaging just under 90%. Millwall's only averaging 69% for the stadium capacity. We're at 39. We are nowhere near our capacity. It would be nice if we could get more butts in seats gradually over time. That's going to happen. The reputation grows rapidly. Next season, we could easily have 7K as our fan base grows. But it's hard. We're chasing, constantly chasing. And that is one of the key reasons why just survival in championship is the big thing we need right now. It's just straight up survival this year, and I don't think we're gonna be pushing towards Premier League level anytime soon, because one, we need development. Two, we need finances. We need to be able to pay and hang on to our players. We need to be able to stop having everyone else coming in and poaching them away from us. And one of those key components is fan base. We've got to be, getting to that 15,000 and filling out the stadium, so that we're making enough money so that we can afford to pay much higher salaries than what we're doing, so we can retain players and not have them poached so easily. When it comes to average attendance by capacity, yes, Lincoln and Watford are at the top of the league at roughly 100%. But we're dead last by a big margin. Blackburn is the next lowest at 61% of capacity, with an average attendance of 19,000. We're massively behind on that one. That's hurting us. In the net transfer spend department, we are making money. In fact, half the league has made money this year in transfer spend. Crystal Palace all the way at 65 million. So for that part, we're doing well with the sell-offs there. Sunderland's the one who's spending like crazy, trying to get back to the Premier League. But this is the one that really hurts. It's the salary per year. We're at 4.24, while Charlton Athletics at 7.3. Birmingham City's at 9. QPR's at 9. Lincoln's at 11, nearly 12. Barnsley is at 12.5. It's a big gap. It's a big gap, especially when we start looking at, not even mid-table. Ipswich at 15th is at 30 million. 10 times Derby County. 10 times what we are paying our entire club. 42 million for Derby County. It's 93 million for Everton. That's well over 20 times. That's 25 times our entire salary. It's Millwall, but it's injury crisis time. Can we overcome? Can we get back to the winning ways of our long stretch of straight wins there? Just fantastic period. Winning each of those headers was definitely a good bit of play right there. Lions finds Whitehouse, who's getting the start today with all those injuries, and finds Hewitt coming across. Hewitt out on the wing with Lanahan Penreese getting the start on top. So all sorts of changes to make it work. Rossini in the back line. We've got Hewitt, Whitehouse, and Lanahan Penreese as our three guys on top. Remember, we did change our formation recently. 3 at the back, 4 in that defensive mid space with a couple wing backs to give us a little more width. And then we lose that attacking mid. So to fill in that void, our wingers are both playing in tighter, giving us that kind of triple threat through the main zone, and the wingbacks trying to give us a little additional width there. Free kick, dangerous spot. Everybody lining up. And Webb, partial clearance, but not well cleared. And Julian forced into a kick save that pushes it just wide of the post. Fortune stepping up for the corner. We're going to get that cleared away, but again, only partially. That is a real weakness for us, like all season long. Whitehouse, terrible touch, about 30 yards away from him, and then slow jogs towards it. And then doesn't go down when a guy cuts across his body and makes contact, and so no call. Anyway, we've played half an hour. Whitehouse, and that's deflected. It's in. Deflected off the defense, it looks like, as Whitehouse is the one given credit for the goal. It's 1-0. Coming off a set piece. We go out to the edge of the box. Whitehouse comes in, and it looks like it might have gone off the heels of number 18 there. Not entirely sure. Might have just had some laces, outside of laces, bend to that shot, but it looked it did appear that it came off that defender's heels. But big chance for them there. Ward gets it cleared away. Much better clearance, but we don't chase it down, and we didn't have anybody out there to get to. They're going to win this header, but Mitchell goes near post for him, or what would have been far post from the point of the cross, and that was well off. It wasn't massively off target. It wasn't Rosed, but it was a pretty poor attempt. XG, pretty equal. The advantage our way. 7-3 on the shots in favor of Millwall, but with almost identical XG and us having all 3 shots on target, we are taking the right chances when they come along. Possession is about 50-50. I'm not going defensive today. It's still that formation, but it's balanced. With the lead, do I want to go a little more cautious, get behind the ball a little bit more, not full defense, but behind the ball a little more often and still try to use that counterattack? Webb is the only guy who seems to be a little downtrodden at the moment, but everybody else is doing okay. Potter's not having it well. Our backline's not having a great game. I mean, we are missing Hassel. All right, we've got all 11 happy, and we did take care of the issues there with Webb. So we are looking much better right now, and hopefully we can play at a slightly higher level in this second half. First half was definitely decent. Obviously, we're happy with the lead, but this is a game and a team that we very much want to win against. Oh, we nearly get on the end of that one, but it was a little bit too much into space. We closed it down rapidly, but they just got that cleared away. Get that shot off, but here's the thing and why they're not accumulating much XG. They're taking their shots from distance. We should have gotten that ball cleared away. That was a better opportunity, but that's still one of those you really have to run on to the end of it. Difficult headers. He gets plenty of purchase on it, but nothing on target, and then they turn right around, get another chance, and equalize. We're only 3 minutes into the half. It's been all them. They are winning every header. Really disappointing start to the half for us. Ryan, we just left him open. Burns was totally unmarked. They hit us on the counter as they immediately turn around and get another big chance. Yeah, we need more from these guys, and they don't respond to it well. I never demand more from them, but you're sucking it up. We've had one shot attempt in the second half. Okay, let's see what we can do. McFadden, do I even have an option? It's Redknapp. It's Redknapp. We're gonna go for Redknapp. Hewitt's not doing anything this game. Let's bring on James Spong. Is that his debut? Sure. Young, hungry player trying to make his mark. Might as well. We'll start with the 2 changes and see if that does anything for us, brings us any life. I think we might have to go more offensive here soon. Big change for the last 15 minutes of this game. So we are switching to our primary tactic. We're going to go offensive and see what we can do. It's a weaker team in the league. It's an opportunity to get out and actually play some offensive football, which I'm hoping can help us out. Ashley Potter with a 6.2 rating is the one making way for Archie Jones, who is not getting anywhere near enough time. He's been the player sacrificed with changing formation. Lanahan Penrese, who has not done anything on top today, is going to drop to the right wing, which is not his strongest position, and Spong is he is a forward. So we're going to give him a chance in that role. He's not looking good as a pressing forward, though. Will he do better elsewhere, like say as an advanced forward? We'll give him that opportunity for this game so he can just be at his best. Whitehouse, not good as an inverted winger, but that's just how he is. So 15 minutes to play, now going positive. We'll see what this can do for us. Instructions, let's go higher tempo for this and press a lot. Let's try to catch them off guard. Just a few minutes left. This is their highlight, not ours. Oh, big chance there. Big stop from Julian. Covers his near post. You shouldn't be giving up goals there anyway, but still, that was a definite opportunity. That was a definite opportunity as that ball bangs off the outside edge of the post, but that was still super close. Archie Jones in action, loses the ball, but he does at least carry it down the sideline for us and give us a throw-in in an advanced position. Lines, we get the ball in. Whitehouse, Lines, Jones, he's going to turn, he's going to find Ward on the overlap. He gets Jones inside, and it's blocked. That was That was our first chance of the second half. We have done absolutely nothing, so I'm really glad to see that the change in tactic is working, at least for this particular game. Like I said, I think this is more to do with weaker opposition than anything else, but there is a winner. Lanahan Penneries puts it in stoppage time. It's 2-1. Yes, okay, time wasting to the extreme. Let's slow it back down. We are already in play for set pieces. I can't really drop to don't play out of defense. Hold shape. Do we still want to counter press? Slow pace down. Stoppage time. I think we want to put them under pressure right now. The best defense is to attack, to make it impossible for them to play their style. We went defensive for most of the game, and I don't want to suddenly invite them to attack. Here we go. 4 minutes of stoppage to play. Redknapp recovers that ball. Webb. Whitehouse. Nice. Jones, good job getting there. Redknapp back into Jones. Little 1-2 action. Oh, what a pass there. Spong gets close to it, but their man pokes it away. Just barely. Lyons gets it back. Another big chance. Ward. I almost would like to be taking the ball to the corner, but we recover that one quickly. End of highlight, and suddenly we're down to the last couple of seconds here. The cross could be a big chance. Redknapp wins it, though. Whitehouse is going to carry it. Lyons into some space. Back to Whitehouse. Let's go. Given away. They intercept that one. Time's long since up, but goals usually they add about a minute, even if it's only a 20-second reset. And there's the final whistle. We got the victory. Good change of tactic there. At the time we needed it. I mean, look, we had not... Look how dominant they were. After we played a half and led rightfully, they came out immediately on the attack and dominated. We settled, but still weren't doing anything offensively. I changed tactics, and bam, they got a chance too. It opened the game up, but it put us on the offensive, and we got a big chance, big goal. Should we have won? I think just about. Right, especially based on how that first half was. We deserved the goal that we got, even though the XG really wasn't there. It wasn't a big chance. It was a good finish. But remember, we're a team that has underperformed massively. We just earned back a quarter of a goal compared to XG. We're still 6.5 below. It was more than 6.5. Now it's slightly under 6.5, right? We needed and deserved that one. And played well defensively. We just had one really bad stretch for about 10 minutes right before half and right after half. With that, Millwall stays on 10 points. We are 18 points ahead of them, but reality is only 6 when you count the deduction. So that was a close contest between similar teams. Adding 3 points, though, did not suddenly vault us ahead. QPR is only 2 behind. Lincoln is only 1 behind. Ipswich jumped us. That's how we didn't gain anything. We moved ahead of Lincoln, but we dropped behind Ipswich because we were level with them, but we were ahead. Goal differential, well, we were +1 in the game. They were more than +1. They were +3 in their game, beating Charlton on the road. But, we were both playing the last 2 teams in the league. -18 now, a little bit better. We're actually right back where we were. We're still same spot on goal differential. Hull has dropped behind us while Ipswich moved ahead. Funny as it may be, that is the case. We have 28 points from 25 played. We were way below 1 point per match. Now we're slightly ahead of it. We are definitely progressing slightly into the second half of the season. We've played 25. Halfway was 23. We've got a lot of season left ahead of us. We're going to have to continue to perform as, the gap is tight. It's still tight, but West Brom, Charlton slipping off a little bit, dropping a little bit further back, and that could be what we need for survival. Establishing ourselves as a championship club, I think it could be not just a 2-year project for this club to be seeing promotion. I think it could take quite a while before we get to that level, especially with the rate of progression this season because of how poor the performances were for quite a while. Now that we're getting them, rate of progression should improve. They should improve more drastically. I don't know if we're going to reach mid-table, but hey, I mean, we're only 4 points away from mid-table, so it's actually awfully close. But the goal differential suggests that we're maybe punching above our weight a little bit at the moment. That run was amazing. 6 straight wins. We've won 8 of our last about a dozen. What a difference, right? What a difference. Anyway, there's a lot of seasons still ahead of us, and we've got to get through this January window intact, and we've got to get guys back from these injuries. They are still injured. We managed to squeak out a win against Millwall for a couple weeks anyway. We're quite vulnerable to losses at the moment, missing, a few really key guys. Let's hope nobody else gets injured. Let's hope nobody else gets poached from us in the market, and we can continue this trend of, even if only occasionally, getting those wins and getting the... I'd be fine 18th by the end of the season. I would be perfectly happy. I'd be thrilled with 18th by the end of the season. I don't need us to continue moving up. I just need us to not move down. That's going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.